for this church, for the pastor, because I sit and I write notes on key elements of your sermons, such as last week when you mentioned about your mother, and she demanded you get back in your car and go back to that university and graduate. I have tried 4 times to go to college. I never had the family support. But you also said something last Sunday about this coming year will be more successful. I have it at home, but it was a strong encouragement.
Yes.
I didn't hear from my son Aubrey for 6 months, and I did Christmas Eve.
Amen.
Amen.
He wasn't pleasant at times, and I told him, you know, you owe it to me for us to talk with no audience, and I mean just the 2 of us. And so he hinted, well, you know, there was wrong on your part, and Carrie, his wife's, and his. And I said, I'm not going into it, because I believe in face-to-face discussions. But I said, you choose to, and I told his brother this, you choose to take the side of the other family. You have lost everything I taught you and my parents taught you. Moving up here was a God-given lifelong blessing for me.
Amen.
I hadn't gotten anywhere in a career and an employment down on the South Coast. Because when you speak of people like Martin Luther King and discrimination, I've lived it. And 3 months ago, I gave my testimony, and many of you know what it was. And this past year was not at all pleasant. I took a $48,000 loss in my childhood home that Aubrey bought. That was on the low end. It was a $184,000 loss on the high end. And I'm barely able to get by. And I go every week looking for work. And I know I have something to offer.
Yes.
But I have been constantly asking God lately, give me the courage I never was allowed to have.
Yes.
Bless me with the success I was never allowed to have. And the determination that you saw me through in my youth, that I never want to give up. And when I talked with him, I said, I'm not carrying anybody else's baggage anymore. That's over.
Amen.
And you're going to find a side of your mother that you were never allowed to see. But if you don't like it, well, have a good life. And I talked to Scott. He is now living at my childhood home with his sister-in-law and his partner, and he goes, Mom, we got to get out of here soon. We need to get a place to rent for us. They have jobs now. He said, and I said, oh, so you are now experiencing what I dealt with. Uh-huh. And he had called me, left a message, I returned it, and the comment he made was, she said, as soon as she left the house, he could call me back and talk to me. And there's been things taken from me. I have had to write so many different journals, which helps get it off my mind and helps ease it for me. But I said to him last night, there was pictures of my aunts and uncles, professional pictures on the hall wall. I want them. I want them back, because eventually you will get them, but rightfully they belong to me. And I said, the rest of the stuff I can resign to just being stuff. But I want the pictures. I have a very strong sentimental value in life. That's the way I approach many things, and Aubrey does too. And many of you met a gentleman who is a special person in my life. And we're one another's prayer partners. And we've seen each other through some strong struggles, and I will, because I learned over 40 years ago that when a pastor's son was doing this, he meant, I've washed my hands of it, Dad, that's enough.